Your boy ConsertViz34, and today I'm back with another live stream here. Not many shows during the week per se, only a Dave and Tim and a Darien Lake. And then we got the shows in Chirac that just happened Friday, Saturday, but the band has been spreading out. And it's good that they have this time off because I think as they age and as they have a new keys player, it's going to work great for them to have these periods of time off. So we're going to go through some of the shows really quickly that happened. We have Darien Lake back on the 27th. Captain gets its second kind of showing there, which is to me is great to see that around. Boa again getting the sixth best of what's around in Darien Lake. We get to Dave and Tim as well. Right before that, I forgot about that. So that, I believe that was the 20. Let's go back to the. Yeah, so Dave and Tim was on the 26th. Sorry about that. But another great show. What I'll say about this show is people are like, oh my gosh, I wish the set list could be the same as the Dave and Tim shows. I used to think like this, but the problem with that thinking is first, Dave and Tim are different. They are great and talented. I wish, again, I would rob Tim Reynolds' electric guitar case so he could play acoustic, but it's a different dynamic. It's a different energy. They don't keep the same energy because it's a more of a laid back feel. Some people don't like them in the amphitheaters. To me, going to Saratoga Springs, it was perfect. I don't know how it sounds at other venues, but I think if you turn the music up enough and you have the right crowd, like I did at SPAC last year for night one, it still works in amphitheaters and it gets more fans in. That's the number one thing. With Dave and Tim, you want to try to get as many fans as possible in without people being annoying. And I was able to hear it SPAC. I don't know how CMAC was, but hopefully it was a great win. But again, you can't have the thing is when you have a full band show, you can't have the Stone and then switch to here on out. Well, actually, you could, but if you have the Stone, Gray Street, 41, Trippin' Billies, Two Step, it's 26 songs too. They would be destroyed. The band would be, a Lion Our Graves all in one show, Best of What's Around, Warehouse. You can't do that in a full band show without them being tight. And that's what I'm learning. It took me a while to learn that, but this year I feel like I'm starting to get a grasp of why the band is doing what they do. Sure, I'd like them to push the envelope every show, but that's how you should feel as someone who loves this band. But at the same time, it's not realistic to expect them to have a Dave and Tim type set every night with the energy they put out. And we'll talk about that in a second. But let's get to some of the other things in Chicago. Chicago got a Sledgehammer Liberation and debut, got a Watchtower at the 16 spot. Again, this is what I like when the band takes something like Watchtower. It's supposed to be a closer of the encore or just a closer of the main set, and they move it to the 16 spot two before you get the Jimmy Thing closer. So you have Watchtower, Ditch, and then the Jimmy Thing, Sexy MF, kind of to end it. But you have Watchtower earlier. They did this with Gray Street last Friday, when I went to Mansfield, and I thought it was perfect. I thought it was perfect to have of that Gray Street mid set. And just like they just had a Watchtower kind of towards the end, but not the end of the set or encore. And then we get to Chicago last night on the 30th. And, again, you get a Seek Up tour debut. You get Idea of You, Crush, great. It looks like it's a great set list, and I'll have to listen to the audio. And I heard some snippets of Seek Up and One Street World. You have a Nancy's. So I think this band, again, is doing the best they can without Boyd, and really they are better. Another thing I heard was that Ants was the tightest that they ever heard it. I felt the same way. Now, again, I only go back to 2012. I can't tell you what it was like when the homie Leroy Moore, RIP, had everyone like, look, we got to have this on point. So I can't say I was at a live show back in the day when Leroy was there. But from 2012 on, the Ants I saw in Mansfield was the tightest I've ever seen it. And that's what, it's just like with sports. You may miss this player you used to have, but if the team is playing better, then the team is playing better. I don't care if you missed the player. We're winning. DMB fans, we winning out here. The shows we're getting. So that's really a wrap up of the past week of shows, minus the radio stuff, which I already kind of talked about a little bit. And then there was a Tiny Desk concert. Great thing. Great to hear Dave's guitar. It was nice to hear that. But what I want to talk about really for the rest of this, live stream is I want to talk again about my changing perspective of what this band plays every night. We have fans that from the conception of this band having 3+ albums, when you get to 98 and they have 3 albums, the core 3, and then you have Remember Two Things, which, overlaps. Since then, fans have wanted this band to be like Fish, to be like String Cheese Incident, Humphreys McGee, Widespread, MF Panic, and I never wanted them to be that, but I still wanted the variety to be better for the band. But what I'm starting to realize, and this actually comes with some insight from a friend who went to a big show back in, I believe it was 2010, in Hartford, and it really made it, and even just over the last couple weeks of listening to shows from this year, shout out to the Tapers, it's made me realize this band is better even when they have kind of set lists that are predictable. Now they're going to play 60, 70, 80, 100 songs that are unique, but it doesn't feel like the Fish, like the Dead and Company that are whipping out the entire, the entire catalog for the Grateful Dead as much as they can for the limited amount of shows. But essentially, my friend went to May 28th, 2010. This is when you had, this was historic. You had a JTR Liberation, Hello Again Liberation, you had a Busted Stuff Liberation, Kit Kat Jam Liberation. All these songs had not been played for years. You had a Break For It song debut. What my friend said is while this show was, pretty amazing, some of the music wasn't tight. It was a little bit off, and they weren't fully ready for those songs. Now, this was the opening show of the tour, but at the same time, he said, look, it was amazing, but some of the stuff wasn't tight. And I think that's the reason this band does not play out the catalog, because as they play with more to me, when you go to a DMB show, they're going to play with more passion and energy. They're going to have more sweat on their shirts than a String Cheese Incident, than a Widespread Panic. And that's not a bad thing, because I love those, but I love String Cheese. I love Widespread Panic. I love, Humphreys McGee. They're not going to have, those shows are a little more laid back for the actual people on stage. They're still sweating, they're still shredding riffs, but the energy is going more towards the riffs and the variety of the jams you get. With DMB, you have a little bit of differences in jams, but they have a kind of a template. But their energy is how hard they go. They're blowing into their hearts. They're breaking guitar strings. They're doing all types of stuff. And that's why it's better for them to have a better template of, okay, these are songs we're going to rotate in and out. If we get a break, a couple of days off, we'll add another song in. But they ease into their songs over the tour. Slowly but surely, you'll get up to the 80, the 90, of unique songs played. So I think that I've started to learn that this band is better when they do that, because these shows have been the best. And the number one variety of songs as far as ranking it is Summer 2015, 116. You go back, 2014 is 107. And then, some of it goes here and there. It depends on 2013 is 110, 2014, 107, 2012, 99. And this current tour is at about 68. So you're going to get, hopefully another 20 or 30 more songs at least. We will see. But I think that I've started to realize when this band is on point, when this band is on fire, it negates this whole, I want to hear two-step. And you probably, if you saw my Twitter, Conservish34, I just went, I had my little moment, my Kanye rant about it. But I don't care about two step. If you're going to a show, it doesn't matter where you're going to see them. They are really solid. Ants is solid. So Damn Lucky outro is solid. Stay or Leave is solid. Nancy, so I mean they have holes that they have to fill. Some of those holes will not fully be filled because you don't have a violin player, but who cares? They are so focused, they are so inspired. The adversity that the band has had to face because of some changes, because of allegations, it's made them better. And I think that we just have to, at this point, Carter is 61, okay? Or 62. He's up there in his 60s. We got to just enjoy this band while we can. And it's a big change. If you hear me last year, you hear me 2 years ago, that is not, I'm not the same OG, okay? My character development from this season and 2 seasons ago is different. But I think we truly have to let this band bring the energy and give a song at 110% versus, oh, we're going to just bust out a bunch of random songs and some of it's going to be 75%. And you look at Dead and Company, okay? Dead and Company, who is a different band, they play the catalog out. If you go to certain shows, it's hit or miss, okay? And you're paying more than DMB. Dead and Company, man, those cats, John Mayer, he ain't playing at a peace, love, and rock and roll. And that's my boy, okay? John Mayer is making some money on that tour. I saw the tour buses pull out, okay? So for a Dead and Company, you may just show up to, I mean, you look at Alpine Night too for Dead and Company, for those of you guys who like them. That show has some crash and burns, okay? And you look at various shows for a Dead and Company, and even for a Fish, for an Humphreys, who I like, you'll have shows that are just trash because they are playing out their catalog, and some things don't work. And I'm a fan of trial and error, but I think with DMB, we have to let them. This year, I'm trusting them on their set list. Okay, I'm trusting them on their set list because everything they're giving, the songs are thorough. Especially when it's not like a Lion Our Graves or Ants where you need a violin player. And those songs are still great. Again, Ants is, to me, was, like I said, tighter than it's ever been. But when it's a song that doesn't necessarily need a violin, they are killing it. And the last thing I'll say is this whole cover thing, and this is just, people will always do this. People need to chill with these covers, all right? I love Stevie Wonder. Someone's like, I want Stevie Wonder, I wish. No. String Cheese is a great one. Go check out the String Cheese incident. No. The covers, let them pick the covers they want to do. People are just, yo, before we know it, people are going to be like, oh, man, I want a Panic at the Disco cover, man. Like, I want a Mumford & Sons, cover, man. I want a Coldplay cover. Like, guys, chill with the covers, all right? If they, like, Sledgehammer is dope. Okay, they I've seen it, and they had the tour debut. And the other stuff they're doing is great. Watchtower is dope as well. But let's stop reaching. People just want them to play another band they like. And, oh, yeah, let's have them cover this song. Like, no, come on, guys. Like, you want to cover, just go see the band that you want to see live. It's probably cheaper than DMB anyway. Not a shot at DMB. It's just, the prices have gone up. Anyway, just enjoy the band for what they're doing. The people who are complaining about setlist at this point, this year, again, I've already, follow me on Twitter, Conserviz34. I already have a rant on that. You look at the songs we're getting this year, we've been blessed, okay? Even if you didn't get it at your show, there's a lot of rarities. This is, to me, this feels like a 25th anniversary tour, okay? Even though they don't have Boyd. This year's tour is what should have been 2016. I mean, this is above and beyond just, you're getting everything that this band has done, past, present, and future. And they're releasing they have a new album. And the new album is amazing. And by the way, your boy here got a venue debut at the wedding I officiated. If you need to be married, message me because I can marry you now. I have my marriage certificate and all that stuff for be a justice of the peace. Married two of my awesome friends who the groom got me to go to a DMB show in 2012. I was just a fan of the audio. Shout out to my boy Pete and his new wife Megan. But we also went last Saturday. We did it right. Last Saturday, their last concert before they were married was DMB in Hartford, and I got my single ticket. You know, as the justice of the peace, you know, I had to make sure I blessed the couple right below me. They were in front of me. But anyway, so they, you know, but anyway, here on out, what I was trying to get to is here on out is a beautiful song. That was their first dance as a couple. And it's a great, we scratched, I'll back you up. My boy had a whole guitar thing that he personally recorded. We scratched that because here on out, we did the switch out. You look at the set list, we crossed out, we crossed out the Halloween teas and we crossed out I'll back you up. And then we put here on out was scribbled in there. And it's a beautiful song. So hopefully you guys get to hear some DMB songs from this new album at the weddings or any other celebrations you're having. Because again, here on out, it's a beautiful song. People are already engaged. They're switching like, I want to get that song. You know, DMB fans are already switching out, and